Thursday and we meet each other again. The VIP crew is ready for this virtual event. The scenes might be rough, but we will have a jolly time. Is everybody here? Are the avatars in line? There's so much going on in the NFT world. It seems like uncharted sea. Let Matthew and Rizzle guide us through. The speaker is ready and so are we. Let's keep sailing on the metaverse. Thursdays when the lightning strikes. So listen up, there's a lot to learn. Keep the treasure in your sight. Please no one get the veggie draw. Just upgrade your microphone. Together we're strong, we ain't gonna stop. Welcome to the VIP Meetup.
Boom. This is Matthew, aka Nitytime. Mic check. Can you hear me okay?
Crispy.
There we go. So we're all going to be talking like ASMR voices today for the Zen vibes. Just kidding. That's not funny at all. Anyway, stoked for today's whip. It is going to be very chill. If the pre-whip was any indication, shout out to the DCL folks who set up this meta party vibes, mesmerizing meditation space that we're all kicking it in right now. If you haven't yet, go click on the statues on either side of the bodies of water. Click them until they freeze. And if you click all those statues, you'll get some wearable that they'll send you at the end of the day. I just discovered that. It's kind of cool, actually. But big shout out to BayBackner. Today's whip is essentially designed by the maestro herself, Bay, who's going to be taking us through some of DCL's Wellness Week and all the exhibitions, booths, builds they have set up for that. We're going to get a nice sampling of that, starting with The Monkey and the Moon, a meditation-focused game involving a raccoon, Sage, I think, which is pretty exciting. We're going to hit up Ogiworlds build. We're going to, I think, leave some blockchain affirmations towards the end and take some really cool group snapshots. So really excited for today's whip. Quick shill, get the shills out of the way. If you haven't yet, make sure you continue your streak over at streakpoints.com. Also kicking off a 7-day streak week challenge. Anytime between now and tomorrow, just drop your current streaks and your ETH addresses below that tweet. Next week, folks that increase their streak by 7 days, we'll split a 200,000 SP prize pool. We'll see what happens. We're having fun. It's really sticky. Folks are coming back every day. A lot of old friends from Scent too, which is cool to see their names when they check in. The retention's insane. We're at like 85 to 90%, like compared to total users, folks coming back every day to check it out. So let's try to make a super valuable digital destination. See what happens. Outside of that, Gabe dropped his new ass over on Nifty Gateway, inspired by the ETF. Comes with a free book, the Everything Token, with a nice little doodle by Gabe inside of there. Current bid is very serious, $169. One of one, pretty cool. Check it out. Show's over. It's time to get focused again, centered. So maybe towards that end, I'm going to pass the mic to the master of the metaverse himself, Rizzle, who I think will be a little bit chiller this week in light of the festivities. So Rizzle, unmute, take it away, dude.
Jesus, I was not aware that I had to like come in like, slow and calm and stuff. I need like more time to mentally prepare for something like that. I also feel compelled, Matt, champion of artists, neglected to mention that he gave me a bunch of like really random things to plug into the AI to make that Streak Points banner earlier today. So shout out to me and not Matt for making that banner. Let's see, just some housekeeping stuff and we'll get this thing moving and I'll pass it over to Bay. For those of you who were here last week and minted a Memon, Johan has informed me that if you have not been paying attention, you can now feed your Memon. And if you minted one at the whip, you probably want to feed it because it's going to die soon, essentially. And so if you've been playing along with it, there's a checkpoint on Wednesday. Anyone's Memon is still alive. We'll get 500 mem to, mint another one or, feed your current one like a whole bunch of stuff or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, now's the time to feed it, Skeeny. Shout out Skeeny, who's like extracting our audience to fit his checkpoints in on Nifty Island. It's all love. Let's see, a couple other things. We had a WIP crew meeting. A bunch of you were there. We had some lurkers and everything last week. We're getting, for those of y'all who haven't been paying attention, we're like slowly getting more organized. Things were said, things were accomplished. There's a bunch of stuff on the to-do list, but without like saying too much, I hope y'all will continue to see that we're trying to give us the credit that we deserve for doing our thing for going on 5 years now, and get the word out and spread word. So tell a friend about the WIP and get some more bodies up in here, and we will love you forever. Let's see. So we are, if you're here for the first time or haven't been here in a while, we are in the general channel of the Meme Explorers chat. We're going on a whole like sort of a whirlwind tour here of Health and Wellness Week. So it's going to be health and wellness like on the run. But the links for everything, if you get lost, are in the updates channel right above the general channel, and they won't really move anywhere or anything. So now you know where we are. We are in the meditation room or something like that right now. If someone doesn't mind dropping a link for that, or actually I can grab one. Let's see what else. I'm almost done. I posted it earlier. I got to grab the link to the picture. We're walking away. Fabiana and Patricia whipped up an awesome meditation, like lotus flower with funny eyeballs for us all here at the WIP today in attendance. So please make sure you sign the guest book so that we have your ETH address and everything, so we can send that out to you. It is dope. I got to grab the image for it, but I'll post it in a few minutes. We also have a link tree, which was like a early attempt for us to get like somewhat more organized. And it has stuff like our amazing Pat Ziggy, our writer, his recaps that are coming out every week. It's got the link to that. It's got the link to our Twitch feed. We're also slowly revamping the YouTube channel and going to be pushing out more content on that. So, support the fam. Give us like, all the things, like, subscribe, just pretend you care and pay attention. That's good enough for now as we try and utilize all this awesome content that we got. As we go along here, direct all questions at show in the chat box at SHO. We're going to pause for some Q&A with Bay and Fractilians after Augie's spot and before we go over for the group shot and like final affirmations and the final thingy. So we're going to pause for Q&A then, and make sure you stick around for the afties after the group shot with show. And I think that's the run of show today. Big shout out Fractilians and Bay for putting this run of show together. We've been on sort of like a quarterly cadence with them, and I feel like it's great to always just come back to DCL and know that we're being shown some of the dankest stuff going on. So big shout out to Bay and Fractilians, two huge all-stars in the space and part of the fam. And that is about it for me. Last thing, besides that, if you haven't been here for a while, we're sort of like metaverse public broadcasting here at the WIP. We've been delivering some of the dankest Web3 alpha for like 5 years now. A lot of you have been here, have benefited from that, and we are still trying to find a way to make some money off of that, and in a way that fits our ethos and everything. So in the meantime, if you like what we do, you can donate to the wipmeetup.eth. It'll get chopped up amongst the crew via 0x splits. You can see Matt for details. He's on a pretty good streak of not rugging anybody. We are also completely shameless. If you have stuff that you would like to give out to our audience or make it rain on our audience, like some Anons have done recently in the past, we like free stuff, and our audience likes free stuff. So who doesn't like free stuff? So hit us up. We'll show your stuff and give it out and take some of it ourselves. Shout out to the crew who makes this happen week in and week out. Foxy Yoga, Easy Paradox Show, Dragonate, Conwolf the Stowaway, Brookhawk the Chef, Fabiano, Patricia, Fractilians, Johan, Pat Ziggy, Matt, Metageist. I just got on a roll. I couldn't even like slow it down. Like I totally forgot about that about 10 seconds into it and just started rolling through the whole thing. So I will try and slow it down now and probably stop my avatar in the dancing tiger suit from acting like a maniac. and pass it over to Bay for what we're really trying to do here, which is here's some awesome stuff that's pretty unique to DCL. I feel like I don't hear about a lot of this stuff going on elsewhere. So Bay, Fractilians, feel free to unmute and let us know what's going on here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, sounds great.
Hey, phew. Fractilians, if you wanna step up, this is kind of like a surprise for Fractilians as well, because we sort of agreed that she would come on the tour with me, that I'm gonna take Fractilians into these spaces for the first time as well. So it's almost like an unboxing reaction wellness. In a calm way. A Zen unboxing. So we are in. You're gonna make me corpse before we start. Okay. Okay, are you ready? You ready to talk to a raccoon? Yes. So we are gonna leave Blesis mesmerizing meditation space with the twisty yoga statues. So if you haven't lined up all the yoga statues and got your wearables, you can jump back in another time, because we're going to go on a tour now. We are going to go to 55 minus 55, 55 minus 55, which is The Monkey in the Moon by an artist called Cansy, who I think we've got with us. Cansy, if you want to grab the mic, Cansy, and tell us a little bit more. I feel really sorry for Cansy, because I made him do a half an hour tour this morning as well, with trying to teach me how to do this incredible game. So we'll go to 55 minus 55 in Decentraland. If you are kind of new to Decentraland, there's a shortcut. So if you type in the chat box /go to, all one word, and then the coordinates 55, minus 55, it will kind of teleport you direct there as well. So I will see you. We're going to be meeting outside the moon and the monkey installation. We need to find the talking raccoon. So there is a talking raccoon underneath a gateway, and as we're kind of all jumping across, I should really explain what's going on. This is Decentraland Wellness Week, which is the first festival in the metaverse to take on ideas of wellness and well-being, and how virtual tools can help us all kind of balance our online lives with our well-being. We then opened that idea up to 16 builder teams who have all kind of created their own installations. So we have got some extraordinary builds in Wellness Week Plaza here, and I'm not going to have time to show you all of them. It is kind of incredible, but this is the first one that we're going to show you. So Fractilians, welcome to The Monkey in the Moon. Have you met the raccoon yet?
I have not, but I'm here talking to something. There's I'm actually recording in world and this whole space, so this will be available on the DAO YouTube channel for anyone who wants to watch us run around later. But yeah, I found a raccoon, and it's telling me that it's going to be my guide, and guarding these grounds where peace is found. So I'll be stoked to find some peace. So I'm gonna
Yeah, there's a lot of peace here. So you have to pick up the rake. So you pick up the rake, and then there's 3 stone gardens that, using the rake, you make patterns in the stone gardens. So to progress to the next level, everyone has to grab that rake and use it to make kind of lines in the stone gardens. So I can see everyone kind of standing in the garden now. They're going to jump up. And so the raccoon is saying, the raccoon comes from an actual Japanese painting that Cansy took the raccoon out of the painting and created this whole experience around the raccoon, and there's a frog that we're going to meet as well, and a monkey at the top level. I am not sure we're going to have time to go through all of this, so I think we should kind of get a flavor of this installation. Cansy, if you want to grab the mic and say a little bit about this, I know you're there, and I know you're like, Bay, I really don't want it. But Cansy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I was on the wrong location, but I found you all.
Cansy, do you want to give us a top level overview of this installation? I know it took us about half an hour this morning to complete the quest, but if you can kind of give us a taste of what everyone can see right now.
Yeah, so this whole installation is like a Zen garden, and it's inspired by old Japanese wood paintings and Zen stories, because there are some Zen stories that are talking with animals and trying to teach you something that you can meditate on, and then if you're lucky, you get enlightened on this. And yeah, I mean, we start this little experience by arranging this little like pebble gardens. We have 3 in the scene. And after this, we have then a tea ceremony. And as the ending, there's like a meditative experience at the top of the mountain.
So, for everyone joining us, I think we've already lost some people. Go to 55, minus 55. Go to the raccoon. Rake the stones. You've got 3 pools of stones. And then you find a frog. Rizzle, you're going to love it. You really need to come back for the tea ceremony. There's a tea ceremony with a frog in the cave. So you rake the stones, go up the stairs, go find the frog inside the caves. Have a tea ceremony with the frog. Go back, talk to the raccoon. The raccoon will tell you what to do next. You go up, you find a monkey. At the top, there's a monkey and a moon. And Cansy, can you tell us the significance of the monkey and the moon?
Yeah, so the story about the monkey is that it hangs on a tree branch above a pond, and it sees in the pond a beautiful light, and it's the reflection of the moon, and it thinks that it's the moon itself and tries to touch it. And every time the monkey touches the water, the reflection in the water creates waves, and the reflection of the moon disappears, and the monkey is always wondering why this happens. And this is also like a parabola on meditation and the monkey mind, that you have to calm your mind, and if it's calm, then the moon reappears again in the flat water. But it also has some layers more to it, because it's also a question if the reflection in the water is even the right goal to watch it, to look into.
Now, I'm kind of cheating because I had Cansy give a guided tour this morning of the installation, and it is really awesome. If you have time to come back, if you're with us now with the whip, we're not going to have time to do the whole thing, but I would really recommend it because it's so moving and beautiful. And when you get to the top, as Cansy explained, this monkey's hanging from the tree, and there is a moon in the water, and then you have to stop. It's unlike any other quest I've been in, where you are made to sit and contemplate existence and yourself and the water for how long do we need to sit, Cansy? How long did you put the timer for the meditation?
It's about 5 minutes.
So you discover where the moon is, and you have to sit for 5 minutes, letting the water settle, not doing anything else, being with the water until then the timer stops, and then you can complete the quest. So it's this beautiful timeout at the top of the build that means that you really do have to pause if you wanna complete the monkey and the moon. What would you call it even, Cansy? What do you kind of call it in your head when you're thinking about what you've built here?
Yeah, I mean, it is like a introduction into the Zen garden experience. But I mean, because it's not really a game at this point,
No.
but it's like an introduction into the story, into the world of Zen, and also I tried to make it like as enjoyable as possible, as fun as possible, because also if you are at the top meditating, you're not just sitting around, because you also have some guidance, and so the time flies relatively quickly. So don't be afraid of the 5 minutes.
Yeah, I love that. Like, we know, it's, I can't emphasize enough. Come back. Like, it feels like the Whip Meetup meets Zen Garden is such a crazy mashup that we need to kind of fully inhabit the space. Fractilians, where are you now in the build?
I'm trying to like figure out how to even do the rocks. So I'm just like clicking around. I've been trying to like break into the cave, but obviously I can't get in until I do the rocks properly. But I've been trying to find a sneaky way in, but it won't let me. So this is my
Oh.
squirrel brain, my squirrel monkey mind of wildness that never stops, that needs to stop, but it's like refusing, and it's looking for a loophole, but there is no loophole. So I have to figure out.
There is no loophole with this one. You have to do rocks. There are 3 pools of rocks. So you collect the rake and then click on the first pool of rocks, move to the next pool of rocks, click on that one, and then move to the next pool of rocks. So you kind of have to visit the 3 pools of rocks in front of you.
I did that, and it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's happy with me. I think I'm definitely gonna come back though.
Oh no.
I'm definitely coming back to this one. So really cool. I love this, Cansy. Amazing job on it. I will come back and bring my son and see how long he lasts, because his brain is even crazier than mine. So it's like, he needs it. 5 minutes in the metaverse is like 5 hours for, right? Like, that's normal human.
I kept getting told off by the frog. So you need to get the whisk from by the frog. But
Oh man.
So
Beautiful.
So
build-up.
yes, we're going to dive. I'm easy is pushing us along and saying, yes, we need to get to Asclepion, which is OG's build. OG, you're with us as well. This is awesome. So we're going to jump now to Asclepion, which is the next build, which is at 64 minus 66. So this is going to be a bit of a whistle stop tour again. So 64 minus 66, and that is by the incredible Ogiworlds. And again, we're diving deep into meditation here. So 64 minus 66, Easy has posted the link. I'm going to post it before again. And if you want to do the shortcut, you kind of type in the text box. So you type / and then the coordinates. So / go to, and then nobody's trusting Easy. Okay, 64 minus 66 in the coordinate box. And we're all heading to Asclepion. There should be a space in there. So go to space 64 minus 66. And we're all going to be, you should see in front of you a huge animated ball installation surrounded by breathing boxes. OG, if you want to take the mic and describe what we're seeing as well, you are very welcome to join us.
Super. First, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, absolutely.
Awesome. Happy days. Like it's one of those when you're traversing between different metaverses with the audio, you never know. But yeah, it's awesome to see everyone in this space. Thank you very much for coming. So yeah, like I'll just do a quick brief intro so it's not super confusing, though there is a bit of part of meditative confusion that's intentional. So it's called Asclepion, based on the temples in ancient Greece where people would go for retreat and healing. And the whole space, if you notice all the cubes and everything in there is aligned to a somatic rhythm. So it breathes as it kind of expands in and out. And if you align your own breath with it, you will achieve that somatic rhythm itself. But that's just one part of the space. So if you look at there's a large screen, which you probably hear is like a metaspherium coming in. And that's basically a shard of a silicon sage beaming itself down. But if you want to get more personal and more immersive, if you look straight up, in between the rings, there is a circular meditation chamber. So to get up there, you need to get on one of these little golden kind of elevators on the side. So you need to kind of try and find one. And then when you get on one of them, you need to jump to the next one. So to traverse, it's a little bit tricky getting there. And like everything that's good, which is why a big screen is there for people who can't get up there. They can do meditation in there. So when you get in there, you need to like cross to a different one. And then you're there. And then you need to jump on a ring. And then you can see the sage in the middle. So then you need to get your way basically to the sphere. And then you can kind of just jump into the kind of top ring in there. And then in the sphere itself, you will see a large sculpture of the shard of metaverse sage. And yeah. I see meta guys say about traversing. Yeah, you know it. All those rings. And the shard is in the middle.
I like this evil laugh, Augie. I'm not sure this is Zen, this evil laugh. about how difficult
Oh,
it
it's
is.
very zen. No, it's got like an inside joke. Metageist made his space a while ago in Mona, which is really difficult to traverse, and it took ages to get anywhere. So I'm like,
That's how
this is hard.
this is how I feel
But-
about yours. I feel like you've made this just to prevent me from ascending into enlightenment. That
I'm right there
Well,
with you.
ascending into enlightenment shouldn't be hard, and there's a relief when you get up there that you're surrounded with these screens, and the screens are basically beaming the message from the shard, and it's a 29-minute animation with audio visual experience, and the shard is guiding you through a meditative journey, starting with introduction, going to breath work, aligning yourself with a metasphere, and then going into hypnotic induction, and then further into visioning of ascendance as it takes in that kind of journey, and then finishing off with realigning yourself today with your digital ideal self, and then coming back with all solutions for everything you'll ever encounter.
I feel I want this, but I can't get there.
Me too. I'm with
It's
Dude, there's loads of us in here. It's
I keep falling.
I feel like there's a deep message for Fractilians and I in this build that
you have to be patient.
We
and you
are
have to
doing-
align yourself with the rhythm of the space. And if you do that, all the rings, they meet at one point of somatic alignment, which is around count of 4-ish. And if you kind of think of that, don't jump too early. Just see where the rhythm is. And it should take you around 2-3 minutes to get up there. And that's the point where the Metasphere Sage starts taking you through the journey. So there's a little bit of a kind of initiation process. And tomorrow is going to be even harder, just to note for people. It's going to the 3rd level.
No.
So it ascends even higher up.
I feel like this is a metaphor for my entire life. Yeah, this one build.
Right there with you. I'm like, well, if I fail today, I will just sit in the center and meditate and hope the shortcut comes to me.
Well, this is why the center is up there as well. There's no right or wrong answer. If you feel like you don't want to go all the way to the meditation chamber, you can be surrounded with the visuals. There's a large screen. You can find a really nice perching spot. You can try and traverse the whole space, and there's loads of really kind of pretty spaces. And as you kind of like going throughout everywhere, you'll get a really wonderful view of the entire kind of Decentraland from the top.
What would you want everyone to take away from this one, Augie, when you were creating this? What did you want to leave people with?
Well, it's multiple things. So at the core of it, it's a 3-day meditation retreat in the Metasphere. So yesterday we had a grounding session, and then today is Ascendance, whereby we're trying to align ourselves with our digital ideal. And then tomorrow we're going to have a visioning session, which is about trying to see where we are in the next year within the Metasphere and the Metaverse. So this is kind of taking the meditation practice and trying to reconnect that with the digital. Usually we say to be more meditative and more aware, we kind of touch grass, and I really kind of try to think, how do we touch grass in the digital, and how we get the whole space to align that, to kind of position ourselves that it kind of helps us rather than detracts us with too many distractions. So the whole space breathes in that kind of rhythm. Everything that's animated is in a certain rhythm, in that somatic rhythm, which is for those geeky people on 30 FPS every 80 frames. So, you can even count that. And if you kind of align yourself with it in there, and then have a 3-day retreat, you will get something out of it by experiencing meditation, like a longer meditation within the Metasphere. And this is where the Sage comes in, because it's really hard to meditate for more than 35 minutes. So the Sage guides you throughout there, trying to make sure that your attention is on the meditation itself. And there's lots of visual cues and hypnotic elements to kind of help you there as well.
I love all of these ideas, Augie. Like I'm kind of on a big hoop above right now. Like, should it be taking me closer? I'm just gonna tap into your knowledge to cheat this. I've just fallen off, obviously.
Oh no. Well, one way of cheating is if you get on if you go towards the back, there are two on either side golden platforms. You get on one of those, and then as it ascends, you swap to the one next to it. And that goes up, and then you jump on a ring next to that. And then as that ring goes down, and then it'll go up again, you jump on the ring as it aligns. It's like, you'll see it lines up more on. And then that ring goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. And then when it goes up, you jump to the next ring, and then you can just jump to the platform from that point down. And then basically you can enter from the top.
Oh, I made it, and then I fell through. Oh, I made it all the way with the meditator, but then I fell.
man.
I didn't think I could fall. I guess I was unenlightened quickly. It's like, nope, this is
The key is you just have to be patient.
I feel like you're saying this word, Augie, like you know what it means. Like we know what it means. Just imagine.
Just use the power of the metasphere.
I should do a little bit of a plug here, really. Augie, I remember when we first met through Mesh Fair, and it kind of was this really incredible experience of getting to know your work and working with you on the first Mesh Fair. I sort of kind of want to do a bit of a plug. If anyone hasn't encountered Mesh Fair yet, it is a big art fair that's happening. This sounds really mean and weird here. Augie, I want to come out of your build before I do a plug, actually. Or can I have permission to a plug inside your build? Is that a bit manky?
Oh, absolutely fine. I also
sure?
I just want to check. Yeah, please do. Mesh is amazing, and I'm going to enter it as well this year. But when is the deadline?
The deadline's Saturday. The deadline is Saturday. So this is
End
the
of
kind
day
of
Saturday or
yes, end of day
early
Saturday, midnight UTC on Saturday. So if
Awesome.
anyone's listening and thinking, I want to build cool stuff as an artist, Mesh Fair's happening again in March, and there's this big open call happening right now for any builders and artists who want to get into metaverse and VR installations. It's the art fair for 3D, VR, and metaverse creators, and it's bizarrely this year there are so many international galleries involved as the curators. So we've got people like Unit London and Marfa in Glitch Marfa and Office in Part in Berlin and Elsewhere Gallery in London, these really big digital players, and all of them are going to be reviewing the entries for this. You don't even have to build anything. You just have to send in your portfolio and a proposal for what you would build for Mesh Fair. So it is super worth doing if you are anyway connected with building in the metaverse or VR right now. Take a look at meshfair.com, massive plug. It's free. You just get your work seen by some galleries. And if you get into Mesh Fair, Decentraland have provided a prize this time. So there's 9,000 USDT available to artists, 5,000 first prize, 3,000 second, 1,000 bronze prize. And yeah, it's super cool. That's it. Sorry, end of plug. Okay, did you like Mesh Fair?
It's pretty amazing. There's just like so many cool things, and you're kind of challenged by this low poly world as an artist. You know, like it's how can you make something that's really interesting, that's saying something that is challenge. I mean, it's challenging by having to put it into this low poly world where every vertex counts. But in that kind of minimalism of digital, it kind of almost frees you to kind of be really much braver than you would otherwise. You know, you can't hide behind detail or anything else. So you kind of try to kind of create these like super low poly things. And is it in a white cube again?
It is in a white cube again. 12 meter by 12 meter floating white cube.
So it's a white cube concept in a metaverse.
So, that's what I love about metaverse. Like I met you there, and now I am inhabiting your digital silicon stage in an environment all around wellness.
And there are cubes galore here.
There are cubes.
Interestingly enough, just for the geeky people out there, this entire build is 10.8 megabytes. So, you know, you can achieve quite a lot in this kind of low poly stage.
Wow. I finally channeling
Yeah.
meaning.
That includes the
Question from
textures.
Rizzle.
I'm meditating.
I've got a question from Rizzle.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was actually just going to chime in. We've had a few questions rolling in. I know Show's been keeping tabs on them. Now might be a good time to pass the mic over to Show, and we'll do some Q&A, and then after that, we'll hop into the next spot for the group shot and affirmation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
Hey,
Hey,
Sean.
fam. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, really lovely to speak with you. Hey, happy Wellness Week.
Likewise. You know, it's funny because I love ASMR so much, and I thought it was funny too that everyone's voices kind of went into this whole vibey vibe, you know. So shout out to everyone who's been participating in that regard. I'm also a big fan of esoteria, like super huge big fan of all things esoteric. So when we were brought into these builds, immediately my mind is already, you know, connecting the dots, piecing puzzles together, seeing more than one thing on different planes and stuff like that. I was curious about all of yours inspirations before we get into the first question. So I believe, how many speakers was it? I was trying to keep up. I thought it was four of you so far were speaking. What were your inspirations in regards to each of these builds and all the approaches?
Augie, do you want to start?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, sure. So, I mean, my inspiration is kind of like about, like most of my work is exploring our digital self and our reflection of humans within the digital technology and how that affects the way we live as creators, artists in our zeitgeist. And that kind of forms the founding steps of this new kind of mythology of mythos that we're creating. So I kind of tend to harken back a lot to ancient Greece because they were kind of questioning a lot about metaphysics. And some of these old questions are rising again in our world as a consequence of technological progress. So that's where the name comes from, the Episcopalian. That's kind of the healing temple. So looking at that, trying to create that temple, trying to take all of that ethos and then to transpose it to the digital, thinking if we are trying to create this kind of wellness thing, how can we move that to the digital? How can we make it that things are moving, interesting, connecting all together as a kind of holistic experience, but also in a kind of like breaking down small things as well throughout it. So, you know, the golden colors is to be kintsugi lines. We have hypnotic things, and it's just black and white for the to have like that kind of like division between one or two, like yin yang. So there's like all of these elements are important. And when you're kind of looking at intent of every little thing, it kind of self-inspires itself. So, you know, you try to create something that's going to move something else. So, yeah, it's kind of like the inspiration kind of coming from throughout the process of creation, basically.
And are you still with us as well?
Yeah, so my idea was to take this abstract concept of meditation and turn it into a story that if you live through the story, that you automatically get some experience into these meditative states and thinking about the right goals and so on. So
Can I just echo off of the Greece talk? I really liked that because that was a big inspiration for where I went with the build as well. In metaphysics and just how we're talking in spaces now, and kind of brings us back to that time before reading and text really got in the way, and philosophers were just holding open discourse, and that was the perspective there too. So just really want to commend you on that.
I really love all these connections. I think that's what's been blowing my mind throughout the tours this morning and exploring these builds, especially with the creators. I am not a builder of these. installations. I'm the producer of Wellness Week, so I was asked by Decentraland to help bring builders together, bring teams together to create 16 installations in Plaza, and then kind of put together a program of talks around that. So just massive thanks to everyone that's been involved in putting this together, and yeah, big shout out to Rizzle and Matt for allowing me to show you all the great work that's been done this evening as well. Show, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. That's great. In regards to intention, January tends to be a very slow and dreary month. Actually, these first 3 months of the year are usually very slow. Crypto would kind of buck the trend and start mooning around this time, especially altcoins, and people would kind of be able to fight through the depression aspect of it all. Would you say that the intention to establish this Wellness Week was to help those of us who didn't have means of coping with this kind of slow period in the meat space?
That's such a good question. I think that was the intention from the Decentraland Foundation. Yeah, absolutely. Feeling like it can be such a difficult month for everyone to get to. Seeing like last year was really hard, and especially in a lot of digital communities. Like, gosh, and like, I mean, I don't have to say, it's just been hard. So it was a way of starting the year with maybe something that could connect us into something a little bit bigger. I've just come off I should explain, like I'm going to have to dash quite early because I'm in a separate session. So there are these builds that have been installed into Plaza, and we've also been doing a series of live, what we've been calling the keynote sessions. So I've just come up with one with, I can see CK in, if you want to take the mic, please come up. But we just come up with a session with CK Bubbles and Shelley Van and Hi CC about fostering online communities and how we can support each other in the online realm. I've got one starting in just over 15 minutes time with a performance coach and a chap who's developed a application to help people monitor their emotional state during the day. So we've kind of had these builds as well as live sessions to really hopefully break up the month and give people a little bit of maybe inspiration and information that they can kind of take forward to help unstick during the first month of this year after the boom that was 2023.
Bay, so that we make sure you get to your next thing in time and also fit in the group shot with you and everything. Why don't we do one more question with Show? If there's any other ones that rolled in, any other ones can be directed towards Bay or Fractilians in the chat, and I'm sure they'll get back to you. But Easy just dropped the link for the next spot. I'll post it again. Let's do another question with Show, and then we're going to do this group shot over at the next spot, and we'll get some instructions on how to leave some affirmations here.
Absolutely. And it's a big old hug. So there is a big group hug to be had at 68 minus 70 in a few moments' time.
Yeah. So we have a question from Metageist. He would like to know, what are the limits for the builds?
Oh, that's a good question. Across the board in Wellness Plaza?
Sure.
Yes, it depends on the space. So Decentraland works on a kind of exponential scale in terms of triangles, depending on how many land parcels you have in terms of the build. So, for example, a 1x1 parcel has about 10,000 tries, which is what we specify for mesh. There's a little bit of playroom. I think it goes up to like 12,000. And then if you have a bigger parcel, so if you have like a 4x4, I think you've got about 60,000 tries, but I can check that on the kind of the mesh list because I put one together to kind of tell what you can use. But yeah, it depends on how many parcels you have put together for the build. But it's not a lot. It's another part of the Zen experience. Augie, can you remember how many tries you had for yours?
Yeah, I had 100,000 tries for mine.
Yeah, yours is a 4x4,
as a top end. Yeah, mine is a big one. And I'll tell you exactly how many I used as well. Let me just, to be exact, and I used 29,366.
Wow, you did incredibly.
So you don't need all of them, basically.
Kansy, do you remember how many
Instancing
tries
are
you
your
used?
friends.
Shared textures.
So for 3x3, you have 90,000 triangles. And I think, yeah, for one puzzle, it's 10,000.
Yeah. So your 3x3, do you remember how many you used for yours?
Yeah, so mine is now 3x3, so 90,000. And I used them all up.
Did you use exactly 90? Did you count every try?
Yeah, because I had also too many, and then I had to reduce a little bit here and there. But now
It was one of the lovely conversations around Mesh. Is that one of my favorite artists from Mesh sent me his first build, and it was 1 million triangles. Like, it's actually 10,000. Having those conversations has been it's a running joke now with the Mesh cohort of artists that it really does change your practice. I know, Algie, it's something you talk about, no, that it kind of brought you towards minimalism in building.
Well, I mean, I came from the project before that. I did like a Pericorac thesis, and I had 1.3 trillion. So just a little bit more with around 300,000 different objects, and I think like 4 or 5 billion animations. Like, yeah, so just a little bit of a change. But playing at the edges is always fun. Like minimalism is as fun as maximalism. You're trying to kind of, you're trying to see what can be achieved when things are hard, right?
Exactly. I think it's a fun place to be working.
There's a lovely group.
I think we're all jumping in.
There's a group hug. There's Canwolf. There's Rizzle. There's Bay. And OG, I'm right there with you. Like, I think that's why we originally, like, back in the Mona days, became friends. I'm like in the high poly. My first worlds were like millions and millions. The first time I discovered the poly, the poly tool, how many counts, I was like, I can't even count. It has like a dot. It has so many. But it is wonderful to building in Decentraland and the beauty in constraint, right? That what happens within constraint can be magical too.
I completely agree. Like constraint is such a an addition to my own practice when I started building in Decentraland.
It can be hard to adjust sometimes.
So
I'm not going to kid about it, but it's a beautiful thing. It's in there. See, I cheated. I created 2 other worlds because I needed to create more shit with more poly. I was like, well, I'm going to create links to worlds with millions of polys. But, like... we make do. Oh my god, this is a beautiful group hug though. This is awesome.
This is a beautiful. For anyone joining us, we're at 68 right now, having a group hug. I should say I have epilepsy, and the group hug.
Be careful.
Bubble.
No, do not hurt yourself.
So if I go quiet.
No, don't say. We'll send you healing vibes.
The group hug is epic. So we're all within the vibrant, rotating group hug bubble right now.
The group hug is epic. That's going on right now. Bay, I'll defer to you for your advice. We got a lot of people in here doing a group hug. It seems like a good place for a group shot. There in some instructions for us to do this affirmation. Do we want to do it after the group shot, or should we do that now?
I don't know. This is. I've been working with Trollbot, who has been creating this installation. I'm going to see if it's working yet. Let me have a look, because we might still be glitched. Yeah, I think. Fractilians, have you got it to work?
No, I was trying to make it type. Is that what you're talking about? to type in.
Yeah.
information.
I think it's still glitched. He's been in the Slacks today trying to get this deglitched, but I think we might be still metaverse glitched on this one. But the group hug is working.
I was gonna say maybe the affirmation is the group hug of all of us here together. Oh man, there's some epic hugging going on. Yo, everyone, please pile in here. Let's do the thing. We'll pass the mic over to Paradox, and we got to get at least one hug shot up in here, but defer to him and his expertise. Let's do it, yo.
Oh, okay, I'm hugging you.
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradox. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradox. I'm taking over the show.
Okay, mic check. 1 2 1 2. How am I sounding? All good.
Crisp AF.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Dragonite. Cool. So if you've not been listening from the intro, I am Paradox. I am a resident whip videographer, and this is the point of the show where we take a group photo, and I also collect some video. If you're new to the whip, I edit together a recap video of these events every single week, and you can catch them on Rizzle's Twitter, so keep an eye out for those. Before we start, I just want to say I have this awesome double camera system going up by Brandon Manis. Sent me one of his wearables, so thank you very much for that. Who else gets 2 cameras? Gotta be me, right? Cool. Anyway, let's get going on a bit of a group photo. So, Dragonite, feel free to play some light music whilst we get everyone set up. So, I'm going to pull everyone away from your hugs. It's beautiful, but I've already, as Madagascar said, made it awkward by coming in with a camera. So, what I want everyone to do is just come stand in front of the hug zone for now, just so I can see your faces and your names. So, line up just in front, please. You'll see the guy with a double camera. Okay, 20 more seconds, then we're gonna take a picture. Can you dance? Someone tell me how you dance. If you know how, do it. Okay, let's see. We've got any last stragglers? Cool, hidden forces.
It'll bring up a emote wheel. You can do a bunch of things.
Okay, cool, right. Everyone is now out of the hug zone apart from Hidden Forces, who's hugging himself. No, he's done. And Elbow. Oh, good. Everyone's here. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Right. Sexy fade. I think we've got a hot mic. Beautiful. Cool. Right, now it's not going to be the whip unless we do something silly. So on the count of 3, I want everyone to run around the hug zone like crazy animals. So 3, 2, 1, go. Go, 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 go. And I'm going to get some footage. Let's get everyone going, and then I'll call it a day. Excellent. Couple more people. Beautiful. That's a good shot. And I'm going to go right in the middle, and everyone go and hug in the middle. Go, 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 go. Okay, cool. That just about does it for me. Thanks everybody. Until next week, Paradox out. Cheers, guys.
Yo, shout out Paradox. I mean, for years we had to improv stuff like this. And, Matt and I have been talking about this for a couple weeks on the podcast. The stuff that has come out across all platforms over the last like year and a half or so that just add little things that make it so much more fun than back in the day where we were just naked in crypto voxels and it was just like we couldn't do anything. It was just like everyone stand together and do the chicken dance, and that was all we had for so long. Shout out to everyone in the audience hugging it out here, still in the hug zone. Certainly Bay Fractilians, forgive me, Bleach, BLEACE with their book of poetry, and the amazing installation, Augie, as always, what a legend. Just an awesome whip again today. Good to be back in DCL, hugging it out with all of y'all. Make sure you sign the guest book. I'm going to drop the link one more time. If you were in world and not paying attention to the chat, this is important because thanks to Fabiano and Patricia, they got a wearable that is like very on brand today with the event, this meditation lotus flower thing. I'll post another picture of it as soon as I can grab it. Anyway, while I grab that, I'm going to thank all y'all for coming out and hot potato the mic over to Matt and see if I missed anything.
Yeah, for folks that didn't complete the tea ceremony with the frog, make sure you go back. Let me get the name of it. The Monkey and the Moon space. Complete that tea ceremony. Just enjoy Wellness Week in Decentraland. It's so cool to have these programmatic experiences work. Like Rizzle was saying, like we're both broken records on this, but to see the tool set and toolkit expand for these crazy builders to make masterful things is just so fucking cool. Next week we're gonna be back. Special Fly Frogs episode. Rizzle's been working hard on with the Fly Frogs team. We're gonna have a taste of Nifty Island amongst other places. So excited for that. And yeah, I hope everyone found themselves a little bit more centered after this week's whip, hopefully, and not frustrated, because you can climb up into the sphere at Augie's World. Anyway, peace, love, and whips, y'all.